The Autumn Glow moved up, gave them the eye, and went on by. Look at the mare go. Oh, she oozes class. Aliana goes to a clear second. Autumn Glow eased down, won the Apollo by 2.5.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain, look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I've got John Walter. He's fresh, he's in studio. He's been fighting with retired pro punters about the merits of 1,000 metre versus 1,200 metre racing, so it must be Blue Diamond week.
I tested it out today. I didn't run the 1,200. I tested it out. I got from the bathroom to the kitchen, pulled a hip flexor, and I'm out.
I'm with you. I need a bit of physio myself. Nico, your favourite time of the year, Blue Diamond. This is your race.
Love the Blue Diamond. It looks a tough race this year. Not a whole lot of clarity, but anyway, we'll try to find the winner. And it looks a pretty tricky day as well. I thought there was a few other races that probably don't look the easiest on paper, but there's still a bit of quality around. And I think this Blue Diamond Day can be a little bit fraught with danger because you've got the Futurity, which is a lead-up race. You've got the Oakleigh Plate, which is sort of another lead-up for the Newmarket. So there's a few Group 1s that aren't really grand finals, so you've got to be a little bit wary of that.
I thought they might have run the Oakleigh Plate on the Heath just to really make sure it gets downgraded to a listed race next year.
Will Parks, Morphettville proper track, they could flare it up. I thought Kanga anyway, I don't know about Kanga's promises. We'll leave that in 2025.
He's gone, isn't he?
What's that?
Is he still there?
He's always going to be there. In the shadows, the Kanga. The great man. Speaking of review mirror, last week, Jolly Star and Autumn Glow, so a little Waller double for you, Walt, which is good. It was pretty missionary in Sydney, I thought, the whole meeting. Savage Revive saved the day for me. Tough Talk was good for Bagman, so he went 1 from 2. He's undeniable, the Bagman. There's no gap for Sabaj. That was a bit of a car crash watch, Nico. And then Apocalyptic was probably the other one. That was probably the difference. If Sabaj and Apocalyptic win, it's a bonanza, but it was a pretty good day. It was for punters last Saturday. They run pretty straight.
I'd much rather Tommy get home the $7 chance in the 2-year-old than the $1.60 chance in the 3-year-old. But she was terrible. Terrible's a hard word. Hard to say when big horses get stuck on the inside, but geez, didn't look like I wanted 1,400 for me. It looked like I wanted to lie down. Anyway, we'll find out next start. If it beats Tempted, I'll give up.
Anything to follow, Nico, out of the yard from last week?
Not really. Nothing really sort of jumped off the page. I thought Sabaj actually had a bit of improvement. That's maybe why he sort of peaked on his run there late. But no, there wasn't a whole heap where you sort of just stamped, this will win next start. It seemed like a day where, Tentaris just showed up and he was way better than them. And aside from that, just some pretty even racing.
Yeah, we'll march on. Shot the lights out yesterday at the Caulfield Heath, Nico, just from the sidebar. The good news is the weather's all clear, all venues. There's some rain forecast Sunday at a couple of tracks, so that looks sticky if it comes early, but it's unlikely at this stage. The hosted pot last week was good, nearly doubled everyone's money. Next pot's not until March 14, Coolmore Classic Day, so I'm on ice till then. Today we're going to have a look at Caulfield Race 4, plus the Blue Diamond and Oakleigh Plate. Walt's going to have a look at Rosehill Race 3 and then the Silver Slipper, Race 6, and then the Hobartville's a Ball Terror Race 8. And then I'm going to do 2 quick ones, Doomben Race 4 and then Doomben Race 5. Pretty off-season racing there. And then Shane Adair, he's sort of like a bit like Elvis, more so than Oasis. He's sort of half left the building, but he's just under a heap of pressure. He had a horse win yesterday at Strathalbyn for a kill. It's a Monk or something like that, and I think it holds a nom for the AJC Derby. So Will Clarken's got some lofty ambitions for a Morphettville horse. It's a tag lower out of Tidy Profit or something like that. So I don't know how it's going to get the 2,400, but he'll try and find a way. Good luck to the bag. Man.
Got Observer covered, has it, or whatever you could say?
There's a few in line. He's absolutely flying. Here's his Morphettville set. It's race 4, number 1, Ronnie B, and race 5, number 1, Rebel Tuesday. He is getting
the Don's favourite horse
and deep into the market. Ronnie B is knocking the door down. This is Donnie. Donnie just jumped into Walt and I's DMs and asked us about this horse, and it just ran into a pretty smart one, or wound up one. But if you have a look at the replay of Ronnie B, he will be going very, very close in race 4. And I haven't got to race 5, number 1, Rebel Tuesday, but hard to deny the bagman when he's fishing that area of the market. Nico, let's get stuck into it because it's a pretty gutsy meeting there at Caulfield. Race 4, it's the Autumn Classic over 1,800. I think the track played pretty fair. Won't be too much of a factor at Caulfield. Back to the true. Single choice is a favourite here, 360. Our Chief, 650. Master of the Air, $8. Deal Done Fast, $10. Crocodile, 10. KJ, 10. It's a 0, 12. Miss Miranda is $15. Akura is $17. Lucky Boom, 21. Mr. Epozino, $21. Abrafo, 26, and then 60 grand, 27. And the Better Husband, $67 to round it out. You're going for a roughie here, Nico. Mr. Epozino, that's third in the blue and white, nearly last here out wide. And you like this work at Pakenham.
Yeah, he came home really strong, and it's probably the last 100 metres that you really got to take note of. So he's quickest to the race. I think Fact Check's got a bit of ability, the winner. Just liked when he got through this gap here. He really charged the line. He won on debut at 1,300 metres. This was his second run at sort of 1,400. And look at him get to the line that last 100. And even his work through the line was super impressive. He just kept sort of charging at Fact Check and even got past him through the line. So now rises, 400 metres up in distance, comes back to racing against 3-year-olds and draws for a pretty soft run here. He's just going to probably land 3 pairs back on the fence. I think there's a bit of speed in this race. Looking at a few of these horses, they're probably going to have to go forward from wide draws like Miss Miranda, Lucky Boom. Thought Crocodile, Grand 60 going to be thereabouts, even the Better Husband. Single Choice, the favourite. They've got a real decision to make where they want to end up, and I think our Chief will be forward in midfield. So I just saw him getting probably a soft run back on the fence. He'll need a little bit of luck, but he's got a bit of a turn of foot, and he should just keep sort of grinding away to the line, probably that last 100 metres. So I just like the way he's sort of profiled here. And on a day where you could just probably go tipping a few favourites, I thought at $21 currently, you could have maybe something 1x3 on him and hopefully you can fill a hole.
Sucker on over the bigger trip. Walt, any insights here?
No, yeah, it's just tough race. So I'm happy with Nico going looking for value. There's a lot of horses not well set up or tricky setups, sort of first up, second up, getting deeper into first preps, blah, blah, blah. So 20-1 gate, 1 improver in its first prep. Happy to be with Nico.
I sort of had a bit of a forgive horse behind Observer last start over the 1,400. The horse is called Master of the Air, Nico. He was sort of typically Waller quiet out and then sort of went to make his run, got checked, and then sort of went to go again, and then another horse fell in his lap and just never got any time to build his revs. He's an ex-Sydney horse. I don't know if you probably know a little bit.
Won at Kembla one day, really impressive.
Yeah, and the only worry is he a wet tracker? I'll let you talk about that horse, Nico.
Yes, I wanted to see more, to be honest. I know they went fast in that Observer race, but he was just so far beaten. Does get Ethan Brown here. Looks like a sort of progressive sort of stayer, but I thought he was well enough found at $8 given what he did late, but it's a huge step up in distance, and I am finding one off a Pakenham race. So that's the kind of race the Autumn Classic is. These 3-year-olds this time of year, they can just come from anywhere.
Well, that's right. I thought it was just so filthy that I had to go looking and hunting, and they were the notes that I had. But I tell you what, I don't want to wade too deeper into it because it is bloody 3-humper territory.
Jedi mind trick game. Even the Crocodile. I don't even know what the Crocodile's doing in this race. He's anyway.
Another good troll though, Nico finding an 800 metre camel race for us. So
and he threw it in late too, just to warm us up.
That's so good. Caulfield race 7 is the next one I'm going to have a look at quickly. It's the Henley Holmes Group 1 Futurity 1,400. Only show one little jump out here. It's Treasure of the Moment. We'll have a look at 205 favourite. Pericles 650. Evaporate 650. Watch Me Rock 850. Like a Lucy 950. Feroce 11. Here's Treasure of the Moment running first at the Caulfield Heath. So the first jump out that she had got Winburn behind the ex-Hong Kong horse of David Hayes, who then went to Sydney and had a bit of a trial and sort of did nothing because J-Mac didn't put in the race. But this is sort of more like the Treasure of the Moment that we know, Nico. Is it just a lay down misère for her this week, or are those harder fit horses or the runners with the runs under their belt, are they dangerous? And is Bjorn going to stick to a shorter sort of prep this time in with Pericles?
Yeah, she's a hard horse to assess because she's at her Memsey. You just think she'd win. This trial looks great, but gee, she didn't beat much. They're like class 1 sort of maiden horses in behind her. I thought the trial prior was pretty solid. I'm not really knocking how she's going, but she hasn't really faced much opposition there. look, she's going to map for a nice run. I think she's one out, one back, maybe outside lead. There's not a lot of pace in this race. V8 probably has to press on from 8. Evaporate did lead the CF4 with Jamie on. She keeps the ride. I think if he jumps as well as he did in that race, they probably look to ride him similar here. Then you sort of got Feroce, Pericles, next pair, and the rest of them probably head back. So my one knock with the Memsey, there's been, one winner out of the race, and it was Mr. Brightside and the Mackay Diva. So I don't know if it was a real true sort of form reference. Like, it might not have been the strongest race. And yeah, she went huge on the clock on that occasion, and then obviously not near her best in a few of those runs, and to still run third in a Cox Plate, probably a bit under her best, is a great reflection of how good she is. But I sort of thought if Evaporate finds the lead, he'll give her really something to run down. So I'd probably be happy to play him, each way and sort of dive into Treasure at the moment. But that could all change come the yard. She might just look a class above. But I do have a little bit of trepidation around that Memsey, just because it might have been a pretty poor form race.
Oh, she's alive. She'll win, I think. And I just don't understand why they want to put Jamie on. Evaporate
seems wrong,
doesn't it? Wrong. Yeah, just not her go. Stronger rider, very dangerous. Bjorn's not airborne, so hard to sort of get tangled into Pericles. I hate horses coming off those sort of gut buster preps, a bit like Treasure of the Moment had, which would scare me. So I'd probably lean to waiting until Nico gave it the thumbs up, to be fair. But I think if he did, I'd be very happy to be with her.
Knockout hope to Kangas horse, Feroce as well. Went really good. I was surprised it went so good against Tom.
Well, and when it got beat, it did go well. He went exceptionally well. So yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, well, some sort of caution here from Nico and myself. I think it's sort of rock bottom odds at the 210 and it's $1.90. Oh, yeah, $1.90 in some sort of places there. So scary, but I know it's going to be an anchor for so many punters. So interesting to see how it plays out. Race 8 is the Blue Diamond. It is a 1,200-metre race, and Big Sky is the favourite. It's had 2 starts at 1,000 metres, $4.80. Guest House $5.50, Unit $5.6. Closer to free $9. Eternal Warriors now into $9. Streisand $13. Zambales is $15. Garner's Khan at $15, and it's got a fair tail to it. Lady Moscato $20, Alibaba $23, Jacaranda $23, Iamaria $26, Cheyenne $27. Stratton Wall's also a nomination for the Silver Slipper if it doesn't get a run, and then Milton's Point and Invisible Sun. So interesting market there with a couple of well-spruiked horses, I'd say, in Big Sky and Guest House having a stranglehold of the market. It's been that way for a month, and we're about to see if it's going to be justified. But here's the Colts prelude, and first starter closer to freeze in the Sean Buckley, the green and the black colours. And then you've got Guest House, who was sort of ridden upside down, inside out, sort of gets out sprinted, but sort of comes again on the line. And the horse that Walt and I were tipping, Eternal Warrior, sort of loomed up and looked to peak. Nico, what do you think here?
Yeah, the boys, this is the fillies edition the next, and they run a lot better time. So if you put the second horse in the light blue, Cheyenne, into the boys edition, she would run 5th just off rating. So they do look like they're a little bit stronger, but Streisand hasn't really put a foot wrong. She had a bit of a sort of quiet run first up, and then come home in the quickest closing splits of the day. Rode her forward, 1 here. Iamaria back to the inside in the Orage. I think she's probably the leader in this race. She probably has to go forward. I thought they might send Torture from barrier 20 with the blinkers on, closer to free. Lady Moscato. Streisand won't be far away. Big Sky won't be far away. Guest House, I would have loved Guest House to draw sort of out than in, because he can do a few things wrong and he can get over racing. I just don't know if barrier 3, unless she can just put him to sleep from there, which would be the ideal scenario. I don't know if he can. Last start, he just didn't relax that well. I know he sort of didn't get the start that right, and then he over-raced, but I got a little bit of a query on him actually relaxing fully at 1,200. I think the horses that get the runs of the race are Big Sky, Garner's Khan, Zambales, Milson's Point. I think they're just going to be in the sweet spot where they're not that far away from the pace. I think it looks a fast pace, and given that, I think Big Sky, can he run a strong 1,200? It's probably a query, but he's probably your top pick just off what we saw last start with some slick closing sectionals. And then outside of him, I sort of thought Milson's Point and Zambales, the 2 Blue Jackets, are a little bit in play here. So,
what a shock.
This is the recent jump out of Milson's Point. So to his inside in the light blue is Unit 5, who's $6 in this race. I know he's given a little bit of a shake up here, Milson's Point and the Godolphin Blue, but Love the way he sort of runs to the line his last 200 metres, and through the line, he's about 2 or 3 lengths in front of these horses. So I think he's the one looking for a higher pressure race. I think he's looking for 1,200 metres. The form lines around Alibaba through the preview was pretty much stacked up. Like Eternal Warrior and Alibaba met in the Merston Coupe. I don't think there's a whole lot between a lot of these colts. And if Big Sky and Guest House, probably the ones with the most talent, get a few things wrong, then this race opens right up. So Milson's Point's a great roughie, I thought, and Zimbale's can improve rapidly with the blinkers on the quick backup. So they are the two I sort of went looking for, but it's a little bit of a trappy race. I don't know if I want to get too involved with those horses deep in the market.
Do you want to talk?
Yeah, I'll talk. I'll always talk. Yeah, it just doesn't work out, does it? Streisand blinkers on, set up well. Zambale's blinkers on, I think, is important, but probably more bigger track. It's just,
big horse.
Sort of needs to wind up. It's not a horse that can sort of sprint, whereas I thought Eternal Warrior's got a better turn of foot and definitely looked like it peaked first up. So when it was 20s, it looked like the only auto bet for me in the race. And then everything sort of found its mark down, probably around $10 is right for it, closer to free, around $7 is right. Unit 5's a bit short. Big Sky and Guest House draw perfectly, but yeah, so Nico's thing, 1,000, 1,200 Big Sky is an issue, so Guest House probably slight edge over the two. But yeah, I didn't really think there were any gaps here. I didn't think there were any edge. I didn't think there was any horse that stood out. Probably if you had to, gun to my head, it's closer to free and Eternal Warrior. Gun to my head.
Yeah, I thought I come up with similar ideas. I didn't think Eternal Warrior had done anything wrong, and I was just surprised bookies even drifted him from 11 to sort of 21 and smack back into the right sort of price. He'll come in a couple. D-Lane's the right rider here. Just hoping they've left something in him deliberately. If they haven't, and he was sort of handlebars down and wound down, I don't think he can win. Closer to free, he just seems the most versatile and the horse with the most upside. I can't believe he's probably not favourite. It's very hard for a horse to come out and just go bang at 1,100 and
it's an outside leader too in a fairly solid race, so,
did at both ends. And the thing that was tried to go with him earlier was miles back. And then Guest House, I think the draw for it's diabolical. I think he's just going to pull his head off any type of anchor drop or slow down. I think he's going to get on the chewy. It's going to be a complete debacle for him. And then, hopefully it's Eternal Warrior down the outside. And if Unit 5 jumps well, he's another one that can sort of sit in that sweet spot, that 2 to sort of 3 or 4 pairs in running. Just needs to be, I guess, a freak of nature to be able to go up to the Gold Coast, come back to Caulfield and get the job done. But if Nico's sort of finding Milson's Point from that jump out, I thought the Unit 5 work's still pretty good there. But I think it could be a day where those mid draws are a bit of an advantage. And I sort of like Big Sky as a horse, but there's nothing really in his sectionals to indicate that he should be as short as he probably is. So I think it's I'm starting to warm to it as a betting proposition. When I first looked at it, I thought, this is a raffle, but I actually think there's not many chances that can win the race. So
every horse runs 1,200, mate.
Well, yes, that's not true at all. So these are the races where a lot of them just don't flat out run past 1,100. So there's going to be a lot of traffic, and that's why I think some of those outside draws are going to be great. And the biggest give up with Big Sky that should worry you, Nico, is Ben Mallam off. Like, there's loyalty. What's his name? Clinton McDonald's not going to kick him out of bed for farting and taking Big Sky in one big race. Like, it doesn't have to be that loyal.
Yeah, it's an interesting goal, isn't it? I would have thought a lot of it would have come down to that, and I don't know. Ben sort of already come out in the media and said it was a really tough decision. So yeah, maybe it just came down to Clinton's where he gets the majority of his rides. I think Alibaba is similar to Eternal Warrior. Actually, he's probably back wide and in play. I reckon it's got a real feel of a knockout, like 23 plus winner this race. I know you're sort of giving chances to a few at the top of the market, but they got their chinks as well. And there's a few that have just got big turns of foot from back in the field and looks a fast pace. So I'm probably more leaning to the back markers and those at odds in this race.
I think the track's going to present pretty well for it too. Let's go to the Oakleigh Plate, race number 9. It's a Group 1. It's 1,100 metres, and there's a fair few horses that would prefer this to be 1,000. Point Barrow is the favourite, $3.10. Tropica, $6.50. Gallant Sun, $8.50. Persian Spirit, $11. GG's Miss Truth is $11. Hedge, $16. Don't Hope Do, $16. Oak Hill, $18. Bridal Waltz, $18. She's Bulletproof first up, $20. Jetabil, also $21. Way to the Stars, $23. Spywire, $23. And De Bergerac, $23. So outside that hot pot in Point Barrow, hard in the market, it's a raffle or it's enough to keep sort of bookies guessing. This is another curly one with Jay Mellum, but given it's 50 kilos, I assume that's why she's got the ride. Tom Kitten's behind her, and Point Barrow is the widest here down at Balnarring. And this is pretty sharp, and this is a month ago. And Nico, you're not past the post here, and that's not you on track.
No, there was a photo getting around that it might have been me, but I don't know. Maybe I got a doppelganger out there. But I thought that was slick work. Even her first jump out was very sharp. We saw her last campaign, like, she was outrageous. The day she won here at 1,200 metres, where she got back and just charged the line. The win at Flemington was great. She gets 50 kilos here. She could already be the best horse in the race. And you got like genuine, like Group 2, like there's not another, I don't think there is a Group 1 horse in the race. And she is probably the only one that I think can get to that level. There's a few that might have been there, like Jetabil, She's Bulletproof, that can mix it there, but not consistently. Whereas Point Barrow could be a legitimate Group 1 horse. If the track's fair, she's got 50 kilos, looks like there's going to be a bit of pace out in front. Jamie's just got to get it to the outside. We've seen the weapon turn of foot she has. Like, I just thought she could be a good thing here. Like, I just don't see a horse that has the upside or the ability of her going forward. Yes, she's going to give a few of them a head start, but she just could be a way better horse than them. So I'm happy to bet up here, $3.20. She just looks like she could be, with a fair track, I think she's over the line, to be honest. I can't see her getting beat if the track's fair.
Oh my gosh. Oakleigh Plate declaration. I love it, Nico.
It's dead set. It is one of the worst Oakleigh Plates you'll ever see. Like, Hedge top weight at 59 kilos. Like, it's just baffling. Like, he's a 105 raider. She's just thrown in with 50 kilos.
Anthony Don will raid the piggy bank after hearing that. He will be smashing cash through every terminal.
There'll be Canberra all-ups into it, the Grafton all-ups, there'll be Coffs Harbour all-ups.
Bookies everywhere will be copying a hammering. This could pay for his second mansion, Anthony Don in Nobby Beach.
Well, his second one in Nobby. He's got most racetracks.
I love it, Nico. Full steam confidence.
Yeah, I can't pour much water on it, to be honest. The only thing I'm worried about is, like Jamie, just the way that horse lays in. Like, I remember watching Vain Girl accelerate that day. I was like, well, it's home. And I don't think it stopped. And
it's dead now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's cast.
Which one?
Yeah, it was awful up at the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah. That was the end of its career. And the thing of Wallace, I think, is a pretty good horse that came with it. And it sort of ducked in, and still made the grade. If this thing goes straight, it's unbeatable. I agree with Nico. I think that's it. The only worry is that it just sort of starts hanging. That's my only worry. And I think the stablemate's the only real danger. Tropicus, I thought it's trialling really well, drawn the outside of most of the speed, so probably has options. I think they've got an absolute mortgage on this race. The only other horse that's a little bit scary is GG's Miss Truth, but it's drawn 1, so it's going to need all sorts of gaps to open at the right times for it to get through. And I agree. You're talking about sort of a horse needing all the luck in the world at $10 or $11 and potential top liner in the making with 50 drawn the right spot with a lot of speed in the race and going to come down the outside. 1,100 much better than 1,000. Yeah, I'm with Nico.
Yeah, I think I'm with Nico as well. And then I'm probably just going to save some exactas with GG's Miss Truth, the 10 and 14. The 11, Don't Hope Do. I thought it was a horse that is still on the up. So it might be an interesting day for Simon Zara. Hopefully he's got a couple of good horses going. But it's pretty straight down the line, that one. Bridal Waltz and She's Bulletproof.
Waltz I could throw into exotics as well.
Yeah, I'd say for 3rd and 4th, Bridal Waltz and She's Bulletproof just could pull something out of the hat there fresh.
There's one that is not that well on the weights for 56, but nothing in the race is part of the favourite. But Persian Spirit's got a big turn of foot. He was airborne all summer. I thought they've sort of backed him early. He's been 20 into 13s. I think he's the other one that we just don't know how good he is. So he's the other one that sort of interests me at a bit of a price. But
Yeah,
there's,
not an 1100 metre horse probably, but if they go crazy,
they could just go mad and it just sets it up for one. But you'd think if that's the case, Point Barrow should just be winning, really.
Exactly. That's what you're hoping for.
Exactly. Nico, I'm excited.
I like how he half sat on the fence and then he's like, no, and then he sort of busted through the fence and then he charged through and then, that was it.
It was just like
had
like
to
a
warm
poker
up.
player.
Yeah.
Just dribbling the chips in and then just shoved.
Yeah.
I love it. And the punters will be with you, no doubt. But
Great.
they'll be with you with the yard. So 3 to 5 minutes before the jump, your tips with staking advice, final word. And you've been on fire recently, especially yesterday at Caulfield Heath. So make sure you get around Nico's yard on Twitter to follow his action. Walt, let's talk about Rosehill. We'll start with race number 3. And it's the Queen Bee Beck W Sprint handicap over 1,100 metres.
What is that? What is the Queen Bee project? That's interesting.
I don't know. I thought it was Ruth. Eagle Express, $4.80. Bev's 9, $5.50. Stormland, $7.50. He's done hot 2, $9.50. Arriving home, 10. Polyglot. Sounds like you'd go to the doctors and get that removed, wouldn't you? $11. Signor Tortoni, $12. Then you got Sweethearted, 12 of the chances in the market. Let's have a look at a couple of replays here. This is Arriving Home. It's second on the turn in the maroon cap, and it ends up sort of running third. And the horse in the red, trolling with
Ninja.
it, is Ninja.
And Way to the Stars won at Caulfield or wherever it was.
And it's going the Oakleigh
first
plate.
up after this trial too. So, 400 days between runs. I've just bagged Biona's not going as well. Didn't really bag him, but stable not airborne. And this horse is first up 400 days. But as I said, these horses, they'd start pretty short here. It did trial very well before this also and did have a little jump out. And I think we watched it with the horse. It was a Johnny Rocker or something. So I think this horse has had plenty of work poured into it. Does draw wide, but has a stablemate drawn outside it. There's plenty of speed, sort of landing behind. Its first prep was really good, like one on debut, and then I think it ended up in the Gold Coast and sort of got stuck in the wrong spot up there in a pretty good race, sort of went higher up in class quite quickly in first prep. So I think if it's back, it's the horse with a huge amount of upside in this race and sort of getting $10 is worth the gamble. No, the other horse I thought was interesting. I thought Stormland, I backed it last start and thought it was home in the run, and it landed in the 1-1 here.
It looked beaten about 6 times up the straight. I thought, this horse is just going to conk out in a Derby white and blue.
Yeah, I thought when he was cuddling it, I thought how far, considering how it sort of finished off its last start from back in the field. And Eagle Express, who's in this race, gets past it late on its merits. So, and Sequista's a little bit unlucky behind there. There's a little query over the race itself. I just feel like Stormland back in distance can be ridden quieter here, and we can see a bit more like the way it finished off its first 2 runs back. Eagle Express is obviously dangerous, but it's half its price. I thought they were probably the main 3 hopes, and Stormland's just a little bit better priced than Eagle Express, who is dangerous again for sure. But I think there's quite a bit of speed here. I think they'll go hard, hoping that Arriving Home lands in sort of 4th, 5th, somewhere like that, and then Stormland hopefully is that probably 4 or 5 lengths further back here than it was there. And if something's swooping, I'm hoping it's Stormland. So I think $10 is a good price. I've got a good horse fresh off a long break, and hopefully it's the closer.
I haven't got to this, and I'm looking at my magical database, and I can't get anything quickly enough to challenge you. Nico, have you got anything for Walt here, or I haven't got to it?
Nah, this wasn't one I sort of got to, but Eagle Express was down here in Melbourne last campaign and always showed a little bit of upside, so no surprise that she went up there and sort of kicked the preparation off well, but probably a bit of J-Mac wall attack. She's a little bit of a number, so no surprise to see you looking for something a bit fresher there.
Sweethearted with the blinkers. I had a good look at it. I didn't think the Melbourne horse had too much upside. It sort of looked like blinkers were a bit of a shot at the title.
Well, like Gallenson is like third favourite in the Oakleigh plate, and you beat Sweetheart, who goes around 14s and a 78, and I think Gracie's Reigns in the first race and is like $6 in another 78 or 84 or something. So there's probably queries around his form lines given that.
Oh dear. Let's go to the Silver Slipper race 6 at Rosehill. I feel like Kenny Calendar. There's a lot of silver slippers.
Rippities.
And we're going to Shreaky. It's killing me on this show today. $3.60 at Ladbrokes, Shiki. It was good at the Gold Coast. In the Abyss, maybe. Confederation, $4.20. Hydrix is $5. The surprise winner, or the wrong Waller. It was $14 when it won first up. But Incognito was odds on. It was the Flopsky, $5.50. And you got Stretton Ruler, $7.50 eviction notice, $15 Euripides, $21, and you got Dr. Hook, 21. Savage Look, 27, and then you got Wave Blaster, 101. The Canterbury is the replay we're going to watch, and Hydrix is the grey, just in behind, and did really well just to pull across heels and just go whooshka.
It did, and Incognito was sort of $1.60 or even money outside leader, but it does get sort of tongue control bit, tongue tie, and a lugging bit on off this. So one would assume that something happened to its tongue in this, and that was why it went so poorly. But on a first look at Hydrix was dominant here. It was dominant over its stablemate, its Confederation too. So out of that, you would say that the rest of them should struggle to turn the tables, and Incognito's has to be the forgive given all the gear changes and what it had done prior to that.
Were you surprised that Tommy took Incognito forward and was so aggressive?
I don't know whether it was a peer pressure move or what. I thought that it looked pretty straightforward on paper that eviction notice sort of would lead, and then there might not be enough pressure, but I thought he backed himself to be able to sit back and close, especially with sort of bigger fish to fry going forward. And then, maybe something's happened there when he's just gone forward and there was an issue as well. But I would be surprised to see it in the firing line this time. I'd assume that sort of eviction notice, maybe Sheiky. It trialled like a rocket the other day, Sheiky, but it is hard fit. Bit of a tricky horse, Sheiky. The race at one at the Gold Coast was very plain, and then I'm not sure, like last start probably wasn't Tim's best ride. Just, happy to sort of be against her here. I don't know. I don't know why. I just got a bit of a sucky feeling that she's a creepy horse, and if she beats me, I'm sort of happy to go with it, whereas I think Hydrix has got a lot of upside, and I think Incognito can definitely sort of bounce back significantly. So I just thought those two should be shorter. I thought they should be sort of 5-2, take your pick, rather than, $5, $5.50, whatever they are.
Stretton Ruler, the Melbourne form, where do you put that?
I had a good look at it too, and another horse with blinkers on. I just thought it needed to improve. I didn't think there was, much upside to it compared to the others.
Nico, 2-year-olds are your jam?
Yeah, the tone control bit is an interesting gear change, given there was something. I don't think he got his tone over the bit, but he did something the last start where soft palate or something like that, they said post-race, was a bit forensic. But now they put that gear on, can really help that bit, and we've had sort of horses before that have run like him, and then you put that on and then they just go back to their form. So, look, $6.50 is a very appealing price given you run around evens. Look, I thought on the turn he was just going to murder them, and then obviously something hasn't been right and he couldn't breathe, and then he's just dropped out. So I'm just going to back him at $6.50. Going to trust the SP and sort of trust what he did on debut. And if that was a genuine excuse, which I think it would have been, then he's a very easy horse to back at $6.50. So that's how I'm treating the race.
The old Point Barrow Incognito daily double.
Huge price.
20's the double.
Good odds about it.
20's the double.
Just the believe your eyes 20s.
Yeah,
huh?
Exactly.
I love it. Forgive one run. It is. It's an exceptional price, and you'd rather go off at that price than odds on. And Sheiky just looks like lay of the day. I'm happy to put that in the bin. So that's it's a nice one, that one, Sheiky. Thank you, Gay. And that one might be for Roberto. Hope so. Yeah, and for us. We're allowed to get around it too. Rosehill Race 8. This is a corker. It's a Group 2 Hobartville. It's a 1400. It's the Kia Ora. Ninja's the favourite, $3.30, which is probably the most talked about horse for the year, given the interference that old Benny Barge Malum caused in that 3-year-old Guineas. Napoleonic is $3.70. Autumn Boy, $4. Shangri-La Boy, $7. Attica, $12. Woderton, $12. Rivellino, $21. Green Spaces, $23. And then you got Dusty Bay, $126. So a couple of those blue jackets were probably headed towards a derby, so they're a watch for later. But this is an appetising contest, and this is Ninja again. So we'll focus on the Mired Racehorse horse, and it was pretty sharp, this. But you expect that because he's hard fit.
Yeah, he was race fit, and I think sort of Tommy got lucky that he got knocked over there because he sort of lost all of what sort of task the horse was set there. But it's more about trying to work out the depth of that form. But again, Way to the Stars come out and won a nice race since, and like he definitely does have a fitness edge over. Well, Napoleon's had one run, but he's basically nearly at peak, you would say here, Ninja.
Autumn Boy's next trial that we'll have a look at here, and he's in the yellow with the red and the blue sleeves on the inside, Walt.
Yeah, no, at least come back well. Typical sort of Waller trial. Everything you like to see, showing enough pace. Like he hasn't been. I got sort of lose interest when they're 10 off him in these trials and they get beat 10. It's very hard to get a gauge on him. But this way, at least you know that he's up. He's got some life in his legs early in a race, and that he's going to be, fresh enough. It looks like to handle a 1400 metre first up, because my worry with him was he really never got warm until he got into that mile race, third up last prep, and they went 1,000 miles an hour. And obviously Observer was a bit unlucky, but yeah, the first two sprinting sort of races, which this looks like it's going to be on paper, didn't suit him. He didn't get warm at all. So he's trialled well, but they've got the blinkers come off here, and your big question mark over him is whether he's going to be able to sprint with two horses that look like they're going to be probably in front of him in the run and run well.
I thought Napoleonic with attempted form should be favourite. I thought second up's a big edge here, and she's just got an electric turn of foot, and I just didn't think he did anything wrong here. And that run under the belt was just beautiful for a race like this, and I thought the barrier draws to his advantage the most.
You can argue very easily that she's in the top two sprinters in the country, So this horse has taken that horse on over 1,200 metres fresh, which he excels at, and he probably is a 1,400 metre horse at least, So I would say he's got significant improvement to come from that. Yeah, we're talking about straight away, is that ninja form strong versus Tempted's proven? She's shown she run second in Everest and done it all really. So I'm with you. I agree that Napoleonic has to be favourite, and he's going to run well. It's going to land in a forward position very comfortably. Shangri-La Boy probably doesn't want to, go too hard, but should run along at an even tempo, which should suit Napoleonic. And it should be the first challenger. And then they've got to come and get him. Ninja and Autumn Boy have got to run past him, which I don't think is going to be an easy task. So I'm 100% agreement with you. I think Napoleonic is clearly the horse to beat. No gimme race, but should be favourite. Should be sort of 2-1 favourite, I think.
I'm going to do the Nico push. I'm going to stamp it. Nico, I think the treble's now up to 80s of morals. So we're going to have Napoleonic, Incognito, and Point Barrow at 80-1, and this is going to be put
better than the moral treble last week that was about 6-4, the three of them.
Exactly. Nico, are you in agreement here, or are you going to go a different way?
Nah, I'm going to sit on the fence. I can see the angle in taking on Ninja, but I just don't think it's as simple as if you back Napoleonic against Ninja, you're going to win, because you've got Autumn Boy here. I know Green Space is a big price, but he's a proper horse. I think Attica's a proper horse. There's a bit doing here, and I just want to see probably all of them before I really get too involved. And the Rare McGuinness is probably the race for me. So I was happy I'd probably tip Napoleonic from Autumn Boy. Ninja has some queries around his form lines, but gee, the trial was hot. So bit of fence setting from me here.
Might have to wheel that leg back then. Sorry, guys, I've spoiled the party. So that can be multi-A, and then we'll try and look for a multi-B.
Mate, I think you can throw both multis on if they're 80-1. It's not really going to hurt you too much, is it?
Okay. Well,
yeah, just do it.
Racing.
If in doubt.
What's that?
If in doubt.
Bet. Just push the button. Racingwatch.com.au for more of John's stuff every Saturday, 7 days a week. And the lunatics in the asylum there in the Discord chat are well worth getting around and getting involved in. It's great
Cambridge Dogs at 9:10 this morning we're into.
Boys just don't stop betting on all sorts of things, which is good. So something for everyone, sport, racing, UFC, it's good. It's a good place to be. It's a safe place. It's a crazy place.
Place for not safe people.
Yes. Let's have a look at Doomben. I'm going to give you guys two. I'm going to do it quickly. And the first one is race 4. It's the Racecourse Village Handicap. It's a 1,600 metre event. The wheelbarrow's favourite here, $3. Headhunter, $5.50. Canara, $6.50. Italian Dancer, $7. Pele Princess, $8. Larrity, $11. Then you got Naughty 40, $18. You got Eleanor Nancy, $21, rounding out the chances. The horse I like here is the wheelbarrow. I know it's coming from Wednesday grade, but I thought Michael Rodd sort of half carved it here. It's the widest horse, and I think he got too far back, and he sort of left his run. Well, it was just sort of muddling the whole tempo of this race, but I just like the way the horse accelerated away at his first go at 1,600. And if you go back through his tapes, I think he was at Ipswich first up, and then he went to Eagle Farm or Doomben second up. Everything has just said this horse wants a mile, and that was his first crack at a mile, and that win was very arrogant. And I thought just a couple of these horses were set up pretty poorly. I thought Headhunter's got Fiona Sandercool on board, and it looks like it's got some class, but with 57 kilos. It's still got to give this horse, or that meets it on level weights, but don't think it's sort of got the class or the progression as the wheelbarrow might have. And then the other horse, it's got a weird setup as Canara, which is coming up from Melbourne, but it's going back in trip, so 1,800 to 1,600, and it's got D. Thornton on from barrier 13. So he could sort of get a little bit lost, but I really hope that they just put the wheelbarrow into the race because it's got barrier 4. And the other thing I'm noticing about the wheelbarrow for its last couple of starts, it's actually, I think it's going to cope with more pressure and tempo. So I think it can sit closer in its races. So it's got the perfect barrier to execute that now because he's been dawdling out the back and he's still just sort of just overcoming it for his last 2 starts. He could be a horse that gets to 2,000 metres.
Plus, he's got the best name in the race, That always helps. He's got the best name.
The wheelbarrow.
It's just a cracking name, yeah.
Yes.
Race, yeah.
Stargazing.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
You've deep dive into it. I just like the name. I had a brief look at this, sort of went through, went no, and the wheelbarrow certainly ticks the boxes. Canara's the dangerous horse, but oh my God, how much money have I lost on that horse over the time? Always looks like it's going to go to another level. I thought 18 back to 16 suited it, and if they somehow go crazy, which does happen up there, it could finish on and be one of those nightmare Waller horses that knocks you out. But the wheelbarrow, definite starting point. Yeah,
the Tacker speed form's pretty good, Nico, for Canara.
It's okay. Like, she's just going through the motions a bit, isn't she? She won one race, has she? Yeah, one race. I thought she was no good her whole career, and then I laid the absolute balls out of her last one night at Moonee Valley, and she bolted in. So I'm probably been right, and I just found her on the wrong day. But yeah, you can't be backing her. She's that low percentage.
Was it? Did it like draw 1 or something, or the fence was on, and it something weird happened? It was just like, oh my God, you just knew her. I remember that. I got a sick memory of it.
Had a bit. I think it was like fence on, went to the lead or something. It just had a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's another $3 chance into the multi, so we're looking at 240-1 for the multi. Doomben race 5 is the next one. It's a Drinkwise handicap. It's $13.50, and Fabulantes is a favourite here. I think it's going to be hard to beat. $2.80. Capital Chord's $3.70 in from $5.50. And then you got Quick Zoo $6.50, Wooten Hyde $6.50, Certified Copy $10, and then you got Shredded $11, Naughty 40 $18, and I'll Tell You Tonight $26. The horse I did like here was Capital Chord. I sort of liked it at $5.50, but $3.70 is getting skinny. It's the horse in the red with the white, probably, 4th last here. Just starts to sort of get the gaps in along the fence and sort of like that on debut, horses that sort of blend through the ruck and don't mind taking inside runs rather than just getting to the outside. And Ange does this pretty nicely and she retains the ride. I think the horse on the outside is called Abraham, and I think there's been two horses that have come out and won since. So I know it's a big leap, maiden to Class 3 level, but up to $13.50, I think that's going to just suit this horse right down the ground. Doesn't have to go as far back. And the other good thing about this is Fabulantes is just a horse that I think is just right on the edge. I think there's just some queries around that form line. And 58 kilos versus this horse, 52.5. I just couldn't really be taking Fabulantes 280. It's another horse that sort of gets back. So they'll be both sort of hitting the line. And at $5.50, I was super keen to play, but someone's knocked the guts out of our price at $3.70, which is a bugger.
Yeah, I agree that I just thought, like if you'd found the value at $5.50, and it's a shame someone's jumped in a bit early, but the ride on Fabulantes last start was one of the worst I've ever seen in my life. But I've got a feeling the race was very, very, very steady. So definitely happy to go looking for something to beat it. Can it win for sure? But I sort of found the same horse as you, but the price is about right probably.
Yeah, and it's just not a race with a ton of depth to it at all. Wooten Hyde just goes around all the time. Quick Zoo could be a bit dangerous in the Golan yard, but yeah, a few of these are pretty limited.
Looked like it knocked up too when it took the gap and sort of hit the front to the first starter last start. Looked like it had heaps of improvement to come for me.
Yeah, D Van Dyke might have a good one here in Capital Chord. All right, that's a wrap from Doomben. Best bets across the day will be Point Barrow for Nico. What's your best up in Sydney?
Sydney-wise, I would probably with Nico. I think Point Barrow is the best play. I do love his little. I do like the little double into Incognito. I think 20-1 that double is a handy little bet, and I probably nearly play the 4-way. The two Freedman horses into the Incognito Hydrix. That's a nice little bet for me.
Outstanding stuff. All right. Should be a cracking day at Caulfield, Doomben, and at Rosehill with great racing, and it's only just going to get hotter and hotter. So make sure you have the rewind button out on the Hobartville. It's just popped up as a very, very strong spring form reference point. And good luck if you're playing across the weekend, and we'll be back next week.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website